Welcome back, everyone. So today it's going to be part one of a two-part series in regards to installing the OEM ambient lighting into the Smart 453. So today I'll be covering the center console and the dash, and then in part two it'll be the doors, because it's a little bit more in depth and it's taken a bit of time, and to be honest I still need to finalize the wiring for the rear doors on the ForFour. So that'll be in the second part. What I want to do is sort of give you options as we go along. Now, today I'll be covering the whole of the center console and sort of the footwells, and well, it's going to be, for myself it'll be the glove box, but for the ForTwo it'll be the sort of cubby hole. But what I want to do is show you where you can have just footwells if you wish, and in the second part what I want to do is I'm going to install a downlight from the roof, like an orange downlight that will light up the whole of the center console, much the same as what you've got on BMWs, Audis, Mercedes and so on. I'm going to put that in there, so that's another option for yourself. I mean, I paid 30 quid for the module that I've got. I paid 30 quid for from eBay, but it's an Audi module, and from my understanding they retail for 15-20 quid, but I just bought one just for quick and ease, because I saw it and it was there. So I'll try and give you options as we go along. Total build cost for you're looking at about 60 quid for the ForTwo and about 80 quid for the ForFour if you wish to put the rear doors in as well. That's obviously not something you need to do, and that's something that I'm going to have to modify to put in anyway. But so you're looking really 60 to 80 pound. It's not too difficult. The coding can be a bit of a pain. Now I've already coded it just to do some trial fits of the lights and so on, but obviously what I will do is put a video. I'll put the code in at the end of the video, and I'll do a separate video on the coding itself. One caveat for it though is you will need to have the dash pod, so your rev counter installed for the ambient lighting to code, from my understanding. I've had a couple people message me having issues coding it, where I didn't have any issues, although I had to do it manually, but mine worked straight away, mainly because I had the dash pod coded in. I don't know whether you could code for the dash pod but then not have the dash pod installed. I don't know whether that will throw up any error messages, because I haven't tried it, but that is something that you could possibly try. But you will need to have that installed for the ambient lighting to code as well. But that's something we're going to sort of sort out as we go along. As always, any questions as we go along, just drop me a message in the comment section and I'll answer them as quick as I can. But we'll see how we get on. So first things first, what we need to do is remove the screw that's in the bottom of here. Now mine's already removed because I had the armrest in place. So your screw might be different, but I believe it's a torque 25 bit. Once you've removed the screw from here, you have to take hold of this and you pull it up, and you've got, I don't know if you can see there, but you've actually got 3 clips that pop in, so you have to pull that up. And once that's done, you just disconnect the cables underneath. Okay, so the cables just unclip, usual way of just depressing each part. Then the next thing to do is where you've got the cable clip here, what you need to do is just pop that off the mount like that, so that's unhooked. And then what you have here is another torque bit screw that just needs to be removed. Okay, so next thing to do is to remove this top bit here. Basically, if you've got an automatic, what you need to do is you're going to have to put the car, turn the ignition on, put the car in drive, turn the ignition off, obviously take your keys out so it's in drive. If you've got a manual like myself, you don't need to. And also with the automatic, where the gator sits is different than it is on the manual. What I have found is with the manual, what you have to do is once you've popped this panel up, which is just a case of just prying underneath here, there's some clips. Mine's already loose because I've obviously just checked how to do the gator part. But with the gator, as you can see, if you look, there's all these little clips and they've just got little tabs. So all I've done is gone around underneath and just push the tab in, and it, as you go round, and this will pop out, and it is flexible enough to go through there. Also, I did find it might be slightly different on the automatic than it is the manual, but as I lifted this up, I had to get in underneath and just you pull this forward, move that out of the way, pull this forward like that. I'll pop that back through the hole, but as you pulled it forward and lifted it up, you had to disconnect the cables underneath, which gave this a little bit more movement, and then all you do is, for the manual anyway, unhook it and lift it over. That's I don't believe the gator has to come off on the automatic, it's just the manual. So the next thing to come off are these side panels on the side here. Now they should just be clipped on down the side, so you should be able to just go along and just gently pry them off both sides. In fact, on the drawer side you can't, because you have to disconnect the drawer first, but on the UK side, it should just be able to just pop off this bottom bit. You might need to, obviously I can't, that's it, but just move the chairs back, and then that will just pop out as you go round. On there, and then on the other side, on the drawer side, what you need to do is just inside where you got the drawer, if you pull it out, there's 2 screws. Just grab the camera. So what you do, on the drawer side, you've got 2 screws there. If you undo the 2 screws, that will pop off the front cover of the drawer, and you can move the drawer in and then take off this other side panel. Okay, so once that's out, the next thing to come off are these side panels, which basically just unclip all the way around. On this one, this white tab has a tendency of coming out. If it does, just pull it out and just slide it back into place. Okay, so the next bit after that is going to be disconnecting this back bit here, which just unhooks from in there. You've got the tabs, 4 tabs. So you lift the back up, and these should, you might have to just depress them in as you go, just to help them. So just depress the 4 tabs in, lift up the back, and this will slide back off over the handbrake. Next thing is you've got 3 screws. 1 down there, 1 there, I'll try 1 there, and then just 1 here, and then that should be able to remove the tray assembly. Right, and you should be able to now Oh, you've got another one down the bottom, so there is 4 in total. You should be able to lift up and just remove the tray assembly to the side. Okay, the last screw you need to undo is just got one screw in here which just holds on this last cover here. Once that's out, this should just be held on with some clips. And then that is that cover. Okay, now you got to that stage, you're ready to start sort of putting it all back together and putting the lights in. Now what you need to do is find the cables, which is always quite fun. Now I couldn't find it originally because the cable you're looking for was this one with the masking tape on, which is pink and white, black and white, and that was hidden right at the back there. What I had to do was unscrew this. It just had 2 screws there, and then you've got clips on the side that you just press in and this pops out, so I could get in there. And then where you've got the 2 panel, there's 2 screws here that just hold this panel in. Just loosen that off, just so I could then get this cable out and then undo that cable, which will then end up being the puddle downlight which sits in there. Now I'll just grab that light. This is the light that goes in there. It is different to the Footwell lights and the glove box light. This is slightly more frosted than the other 3. So with the lights go in and out, not like most panels where they come out. You have to put these ones in. So basically all you do, put it in. It's got a little tab. I'll try and show you. So it's got hooks on one side and just holding clips on the other, so that just goes into place, hooks up and clips in. And then all you're going to do is obviously just connect the cable, and that is it in place. So what you can do now is just start putting that bit back together. So once that bit's back in, obviously it's time to put the tray back in, but before that you need to find the cables for the lights that go in the drawer. Looking around, I found this one. This is one of them, and that was just stuck down in there. And then the other one, as you can see, is here, and that's just taped on there. So what you need to do is undo that tape so this bit becomes free, and then just put it up out the side, out the way, so we can get the drawer on in preparation for the side panels. Obviously now the tray's back in. Just make sure you've got the cables coming out the sides there, so you can plug them into the side lights. So the next thing to do is put the main centre bit back on over the handbrake and clipping it back into there. Okay, so the next thing to do is to put the light rings, which are these, into the side panels, and basically they just sit under. There's 4 clips, and they just clip under. For some reason, I don't know whether they've warped a little bit in transport from Germany or whatever, but they didn't seem to be sitting underneath. There is locating dowels, but for some reason they weren't lining up fully. As much as I tried to turn it round and manipulate it, it wasn't working. So all I ended up doing, the clips hold it in really well anyway. So all I ended up doing is just clipping the dowels off with a pair of pliers, and it seems to have sat in quite nicely. Obviously on the back where you have this bit come through, all you're going to do then is pop one of your LED modules on there, and then once you put it back on, the side panel back on, obviously clip it into the side cables down there. So with the Footwell lights, basically, if you look, this is the driver's side, obviously. This is where it goes in here. And if you feel, I'm just trying, obviously trying to find the cable isn't too difficult. I've just got to try and remember where it is. Okay, so there's the hole, just in line with this screw. If you put your fingers up there, you'll feel a cable that's loose. Right, unsurprisingly, you pull it away, and that's where that is stored. So you can just pop that through, feed it through the hole when it wants to go. It's fun trying to do it one-handed. I'll just pop that through and I'll let you know. Okay, so for the last two, which will be the passenger side and the glove box stroke cubby hole, tucked up here was this bundle of cable here. Let's get it out. So there you go, this bundle of cable there. Oh, fingers everywhere today. So obviously this longer bit goes up to the glove box, and this little bit here goes to that there, where the, just there, where the other foot, or the Footwell light is. So my plan, obviously with, I don't know if you can see, there's the hole in the glove box. It'll be the same for the cubby hole. So my plan is just to feed the cable up from behind, drop it through. There is clips and other pop rivets on there. So once the cable's up, I'll have a look to see where they go and then pop them in. But again, the lights go in exactly the same as the other Footwell, and then that will be that complete. Okay, so to get the ambient lighting working, you do have to activate it. I found when I did mine, it didn't self-populate into the second box, and I had to do it manually. But as per normal, you'd normally go scan, hit the can button, and wait for the ECUs to self-populate in the second box. Now, mine populated all the ECUs, but the one that you need, which is table de bord, for some reason didn't populate. So what I had to do is do it manually, which is relatively simple. You just go up to the ECU folder at the top, scroll down till you find TDB. So I say in the first one, TDB does stand for table de bord, but it's just made it smaller. And then what you need to do is find cluster X07 and then version and the biggest one that you've got. So I've got this one here, X07 version 3-12. That is the newest up-to-date version that I've got on here. So I will then double click on that, which self-populates it into the second box. So you basically start from there. So click on there, and basically it will then self-populate the third box. What you need to do is then click on Ecran configuration. So expand that, go down to vehicle config, and then in the main screen you just scroll down to where it says ambient lighting present. Now obviously it will say deactivated and deactivated. So what you need to do is just in the right hand box there, just click on it as always, change it to activated, head up to Einstein, click on him, and then click the right hand button just on the right, just to add or to write, to change this bit here to say that it is activated. And then once you've done that, scroll down to the bottom and click the right hand box here, which will then send it up to the ECU, and that will be it done. So that's the end of the first video in this series. Obviously I've done all the dash and the Footwell lights. The next thing to do is the door lights, which obviously takes a little bit more effort because the door cards and all that got to come off. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I will also give you an option for the downlights in the ceiling as well. Obviously with this, I mean, it is, you could probably get away with just doing the Footwell lights if you want, if you didn't want to do the center console lights, but that's totally up to you. What I will do is I will leave in the descriptions, I will leave the list of all the part numbers that you need. and so on. As always, any questions, queries, drop us a message in the comments section. If not, I will leave an email address in the details section. Obviously, if the video was helpful, please like, subscribe. I've got quite a bit more coming up on the 453. So obviously got part 2 for the doors, and also I'm going to be doing a full Brabus rear end conversion on the Smart. So look forward to that soon, as well as a Brabus front end lip splitter that I've ordered. So I'm going to be putting that on the front as well, just to give it make it look a little bit better. But like I say, any questions, comments, give us a shout and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If not, I will see you in the next video.